everyone, it's Mich here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you like what you see and want to be a subscriber. And for all of you who are my crafty friends and kindred spirits who keep hopping on and leaving comments, I really do appreciate you and really just love getting to know everybody. Today's going to be another week in Craft with Collage with Mich. So if you're not familiar with this, it's just a set of prompts that I just thought would be fun for us to do, and they are free if you want to email me, or I do have a Facebook group, which I can't find my little, it'll be in the description box below. I have a little paper written down on paper somewhere, but I can't find it. So yeah, if you want to join the Facebook group, just look in the description box below. And the way that I'm doing it, I call it the Rolodex Memorydex challenge, is that's kind of how I'm doing mine. But there's, so many of you are doing different things like tags and flashcards and just journal cards, and some are doing the Rolodex too with me. So you can do however you like. So today is week 6, and the word is dance, and the prompt is rubber stamp. So with this one here, I have a little book that is not up to date at all, but I have photocopied all my Stampin' Up! Stamps, and then again, it's not outdated. When I started working full-time, a lot of this stuff I just didn't have time to do, but I do have a lot of my stamps stamped out in here. So sometimes I look through here just to get some inspiration. And there was a few stamp sets that I had just totally forgot about, that I thought, oh, I'm gonna use those. So they are Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. So the first one was the Hippus Hippo. And these guys just look like they're dancing and having fun. And then I always love her because she just looks like she's, to me, she's dancing. And then there's the little sheep, counting sheep, and he just looks like he's doing the I don't know what, the limbo or something. So I have stamped out those, and then the only stamp that I could find that actually had dance in it was "Life may not be the party we had hoped for, but while we're here, we might as well dance." So I am gonna make use of that, not the whole saying, but bits of that. If you are new, I had some die cuts that I could make this little Memorydex keeper, and some of the ones that I have done so far. Here's an example. There's one. So for the Memorydex, I'm doing more of a clean, and I think this one here is my favorite so far. This one here, I just absolutely love it. I'm doing more of a clean type collage, I guess you'd say. Whereas in the Rolodex, I'm doing more of a grungy, vintagey kind of feel. So I'm just trying to do kind of two different styles. It makes it hard sometimes to do the video. And then I am trying to do a giveaway for each week. So this was last week's Rolodex, which I didn't get a chance to post. Last week on video, I only did the Memorydex. So I did create my week 5, and I'm really happy with that. And then the postcard that I will send out is this one here. So I hope whoever gets it really likes it. I think it's really cute. Right, so let's get started. So I'm going to start with the Memorydex. I've already cut out a piece of paper, and I have a punch that can punch the little holes there for it to slot in. And then with this one here, it was double-sided paper, but it was quite thin. It was very thin. So what I did is I actually glued 2 pieces together so that it's a little bit more stable. And then, so I was just finishing up getting stuff prepared when I thought, okay, it's time to just get on doing something online here. So I'm just looking for my pokey tool. Always losing the pokey tool. Because I've just got a couple, oh there it is. Got a couple of these little holes that didn't get poked out. There we go. So I just want to start with doing a little mat. And for this one here, I'm going to use the hippos, which I think are just such fun. Such fun. So I just want to get that down relatively centered, I guess. Doesn't really have to be. And then, so I've already gone and stamped out my little guy here. And so I stamped it with my archival ink. And I did color it in with my alcohol markers. And it didn't seem to smudge. So I did leave it to dry for a bit. And then there's my girl. And she's dancing as well. I thought I would just do a little bit of grass or just a little bit of something grounding at the bottom. So I just took this bit of green and I just cut a little wavy line, and I will cut out those little rungs after. Okay. And then for the top, I did take my border punch, and it's going to cover that a little bit, but I'm not bothered because it's all about layering, I think. So I was kind of thinking that I would do something like that, and I don't think anything's going to go underneath this. So, and then the saying for this one, I am using both for this and the postcard, is this one here, which says, "Fluff up your tutu and dance," which I just thought was really appropriate for her and for all of us. Just fluff up your tutu and dance. And then I'm going to put this, I think, up top here. And I'm just going to cut out this now, I think. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'm filming this on Sunday, and it's actually going to come out on Wednesday. I post my collage videos. I still have to get to some of your guys' video, so I'm working on it. This week has been just really crazy, and it is a long weekend, so I'm hoping to get caught up on things over these next couple days. It's Sunday today, so Marguerite Miller just went out last night. Okay, so then we have our little bit of grass, and then we have this and this. So then I've got a little umbrella, so I just die cut a bit of bits that can go into the scene. So I'm thinking that, I was kind of thinking to put them up on dimensionals, but I don't think I will. What do you think? Because if that's lifted up off the page, I could actually lift up some of the flowers. Yeah, I'm happy with that being flat. But for now, right now, I'm just going to do down his center, the center of him. Okay, and then, so his foot's on the ground there. And then I'm just going to do the center of her too, just so that she's tacked into place. Then I have this little umbrella. It's not raining, but maybe it is raining. I love the rain. I just thought it would be a nice little accent. And it's kind of like she's holding it. She's holding it there with that hand. I could have put it in her hand, but I'm happy with the... So then I also have some little tufts of grass. So I thought, let's build this little scene. For sure. I'm trying to get ahead a little bit in my videos. I want to start doing maybe a summer journal, or just another journal. And as you know, it just all takes time. But today's a rainy day. But it's not an unpleasant day. So I've got these little hearts that I thought we could put into the scene. Better get this down just so that... So this I just did on my little handheld label maker thing. Fluff up your tutu and dance. Okay, and then somebody asked me before I use this tool, I think it was this one, of what it is. And this is just, you can get them, this is a Stampin' Up! One, but it doesn't have to be Stampin' Up! Because I think there's other ones out there. And it just helps you pick up things. So I just call it the picker-upper. So I'm kind of thinking I do like this little heart. So get that one down. And then a little heart over on this side to show his love. And then I got a different color one, but I'm gonna, which would have been the same size. This one's a bit smaller, but that's okay. And then I got just some flowers that we can decorate around if we want to. I do like the pink one. Oh, she could have a little one in her hair. That would be cute. So we'll just pretend that it's on her hair there. Like so. Might need to put a little bit of glue under the whole thing. So yeah, tomorrow's Victoria Day here in Canada. So if you don't know, I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm going to put that under her ear. If I can. Slide that under there. Like so, yeah, I like that better. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow's Victoria Day. So we get a holiday. Sorry, I'm trying to think of where I can place this. Like here, and then I'll put a few little gems. But I think that is so cute. There's a bigger one here. Yeah, I could also put it just down here in the grass. I could get it underneath that blade of grass a little bit. And I'm going to take that, actually, I like the blue better than the teal, I think. So let's get some of these down. So what projects are you guys working on? I always find it interesting what other people are kind of working on. Okay, well I think let's get some gems, because I'm happy with that. It didn't take a lot of time. It took more time to prepare it than it did to actually do it. I also have some of these, which are sticker ones, but I think these are good. You can, once they dry a bit, I didn't glue them all down so that they can pop them up to make them look a bit 3D. This blue one I might have. Like so, which gives a nice effect. I don't know if it picks it up on camera much, but I should have something up top there. So what do I have? Orange. I wonder about putting this, it's a different color pink. Oh. Or putting this right in the middle of that. I think that looks better. So let's just put that in there. I think that gives that a little dimension. And I could even get the small piece and put the small piece there. And what about, does the yellow go? No. I think I'm kind of happy with that. So I did pull out a bunch of gems. And these ones are Paper Mania that I actually got in the UK at Trago Mills. When I lived down in Cornwall, I used to go. Oh, that's nice. We used to go off and do a little bit of shopping. So I really like that. So let's just do another one. These are little stars. Okay, and then there's another little one there. I think I'll do a different one. Kind of thinking for her hair. Maybe one of these ones. These are just our sequins. But where's her hair? I kind of thought maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe. And then I don't think I have a blue one for the center there, so I'll just go with one of these ones. Like so. They're kind of brownish gold, but they, when you put it in with blue, it looks good. Okay, I think I'm happy with this one for now. We might come back to that and add some more stuff. But then I thought what I would do is, let me set that aside, just work on this, the giveaway, quickly, because I knew that that one wouldn't take a lot of time. So I have these postcard blanks, and I could actually just write it on here, but this is a bit flimsy too. So I just want to double up this card. So this is just a piece of cardstock that I had. And we'll get that down on there. Okay, and then I just went, I really liked that little banner at the top, so I thought I'd keep that. And then I wanted to do just a bit of a layers, and I cut out this tag that I thought could go this way, and then this what was left, and I thought, oh, that would make a great frame. So I'm thinking that that's going to go something like this, but did I want that over top or underneath? And I think I'd like it over top. All right, so that's that. And then we have this here, which I'm going to put as a mat on the background because I like the layers and I just want to offset that a little bit. So I'm thinking that I'll put this pretty much in the center, but maybe down a little bit more. So this I'm going to use with my tape runner. This is foiling, and sometimes your just normal glue finds it hard to stick to it. I only use Elmer's glue, and sometimes it sticks really, really well, and sometimes not that great. But I find the double-sided tape works really well. And if this is going off in the mail, I don't want, you know, half of it falling apart. Okay, so let's put that about there. And then I think I will get down this frill. Now I'm gonna do that, but I do want this to stay down pretty well. So I am gonna try. It's anchored by the double-sided tape, so I think that this glue will hold the fringe down for sure. Okay. And I really haven't, yesterday was Saturday, and I spent the day doing trying to do ahead with some Marguerite Millers. So I think I have 3 or 4 already pre-scheduled. That didn't go all the way to the end. So I don't like that, but we'll have to put something there to hide that. It wasn't just quite long enough, I guess. And, okay, so let's get that down. I'll worry about that little piece later. So I'm kind of thinking something like this just to offset the layers. And then I have a little bit of ground here too. And I think the ground can go down underneath the frame too. Sometimes it's nice just to frame one of your focal points. And it just helps, I guess, focus you. All right, so this is going to go down here right to the bottom. Down. Okay. I know what I could do. I could actually cut that off because I don't like it. So before I decorate any further, I'm just going to cut, if I can, I'm going to cut that off. Yeah. All right, I like that better. There, problem solved. Okay, now for this, I'm thinking, let's get that, and then we'll get this, kind of like this, I think. So let's just get this down next. Now I know this will stick because it's paper on paper, so I can just use mostly paper on paper. I can use the just the normal glue. All right, so I'm thinking about like that. And then let's get this little frame down. And then we can just decorate. Now if I had been thinking, I have a sheet of double-sided adhesive. They're like larger. I could have used that, which would have then allowed me to adhere this kind of frame better, but a little bit of glue, it's fine. Okay, and then we have our little hippos. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And then I do have a little umbrella for her too. And then we have our saying, which I was either going to put there or down here. I want to put some grass. So I've got some more grass here. I thought I would do one on each side of this little frame. Some adhesive there. And then like there. So maybe I will put that there on the bottom. Let's see how that goes. So I've already sent out a few postcards and some happy mail to Yvonne, but Yvonne, it's going to the UK, so I'm not sure how long that's going to take. But I did send out some. Okay, and let's get our little tufts of grass down. And with these tufts of grass, they're so cute because in the die cut, they actually make a little bit of a groove that gives it a little bit of texture. I don't know if you can see that, but it gives it a little bit of groove there. It's groovy. And then I just basically cut out the same little flowers and stuff that I used on my Memorydex one. So let's put that there. And we want to get him down good and solid. And there's nothing really going underneath him, so we'll get him down. Sometimes if I'm not quite sure, I always try to leave a bit of an edge so that if I want to tuck something, then I can. Okay, and make sure he's glued down really well. And then let's get her a little umbrella. So they're just doing the jive. Don't they even look like they're jiving? Him more so than her, I guess, but thinking that would... I think she's jumping up in the air. I think that would work. So let's get this little umbrella down. Now I can't put gems on this one because, well, they'll probably fall off in the mail. Where it's just a postcard, it's not so much that it won't go through the... Actually, I want her closer to him. So I'm going to move the umbrella. And because I can put some flowers on the other side if there's some, if it looks like there's space there. Okay, and obviously that's not realism because her hands are free, so who's holding the umbrella? But I just think it's a cute little accent. All right, and then the same as with him, I just cut a bunch of stuff here. And I might need my picker-upper for some of it. Okay, so I have the different colors. And I was thinking with the heart to go with the darker pink. Again, like that, just so it stands out a little bit. And let's do something like that. Maybe up a little higher. Like that, like so. Okay, and then there's another light colored one, which we can stick on there. Okay, so I'm just going to get this down. Chester, he's been behaving today. He's in the chair. I've started to sit in a different chair lately. And if I'm not sitting in it, he's in it. But it's right by the window. And on a rainy day, I think it's nice. He can't really look out the window from the chair, but he can sense the window and the light from the window. I watched this this new series. Well, it's a new series to me. And Joy, I'm wondering if what the response is in the Australia about it, but the setting is in Queensland, and it's called Black Snow, and I've watched it on Acorn TV. I get Acorn. I love all the British, Australian, New Zealand. I like those shows the best, and it was a really good show. The main character, the detective, I knew him from somewhere, and I'm like, I know that guy. He kind of looks a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was thinking, gosh, he looks like Leo. And then I was like, how do I know this guy? And then I happened to catch the opening credits. It's a 6-episode long show. And he was Ragnar off Vikings, Travis Fimmel. And I really like his acting. I don't know. I don't follow the stars as in what they're like as people, but I really liked him. All right, so this might have just run out. It's supposed to be able to wind up and down. This one was broken from the time I got it, but the refill isn't. So I think that's probably all that's in there. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so we've got that down. So let's get these down. I can actually pick these ones up. The reason that I use that quite a bit is my arthritis in my hands. I find it sometimes hard to pick up little things. And this one here, I want it to be a little bit more colorful than the other one, than the one I'm going to put on my Memorydex. So I wasn't sure about, you know, when I'm quiet, I'm thinking about things. So this is a different color yellow. So I'm thinking that'll work there. So let's get it down. I like the bigger flowers, but there's some smaller ones here too we can put along the bottom. Oh, we need to put a flower in her hair. For sure. Okay, so then which one? I think we'll put this little pink one in her hair. Get this down good. And then for this one here, I have some little enamel dots. Oh, that's so cute. And I'll see if I can make them work on here. But that's looking cute. And then we can just put some other little pink, these little pink ones kind of down in the grass, maybe down along that border. We put a pink one there, and then put an orange one over here. Balance out the colors a little bit. I saw on, I don't know, I think it must have been, I don't know where I saw it, somewhere. But you can get this little, it's almost like a fidget spinner, but it's the color wheel. And it looks really sharp. I think I might actually get it. I do have a color wheel, but it's not as, it just didn't seem to be as user-friendly as the one that I saw. So I think I might just try to pick that one up. Okay, so we've got a dark one, we've got a dark one. We could go with a yellow one, but I can't see a yellow one. Oh, it's in my hand. I was looking down there for this yellow one that I'm actually holding. Okay, so I think that's good. So what I stamped there is the main images and the well, I didn't stamp the umbrella, I wrote it, but so I think that's good. And then these little ones here for the enamel dots, they don't stand up, so I think they would go through the mail pretty good. And I've got some, not all of them are gonna be able to have a dot. I guess those are almost as high as the halfback pearls though. But I could go with these. These are very flat, but I'm not sure they would look nice. But they do have a hint of the gold, which is in the background. We don't need a real lot. Oh yeah, they look cute. So I'll just do a couple, if I can get it off here. I'll put one in there. And then one down here in this little flower. With these I only have pink and gold though. I don't have various colors. So for those ones there, I can use some gold of these smaller ones. If I can get it off here. So the shops will be closed tomorrow. And I usually get my groceries on Saturday, but I actually went off and got them on Friday. So haven't really gone anywhere. Got a bunch of fruit. Those almost look the same, but that's gold and that's pink. And I'll just do a couple more here. So I can finish the rest of these off camera. Because you get the picture. So that's the basic card that I'll be sending out to somebody. That little cute one. So then, let's move all this stuff aside. So then the last card or the last one I'm going to get started on, I might not finish it. I might finish it off camera and then just show the finished one on the Facebook page. But so I got a bunch of washi tape here. But I took the image of the girl, that one there, and I stamped it on, well, I stamped it on white paper, and then I stamped it on patterned paper, and I cut out her dress, and then I just stamped it on just mauve paper. So we have like this mauvey floral dress. I also stamped it on like a pink background, a light pink. And then I also stamped it on like a gingham kind of dress. I like the gingham. So that, sort of like paper dolls. And then you just cut out the dress. And then you could glue it on your main image. Like such. So I'm not sure if... Yeah, I kind of settled on that I like this dress. So I did that, and then I did stamp some of the little sheep just in case I thought the little sheep could be dancing. And then with the stamp that was here, I took the stamp and I put some paper over all the words except for dance. And then I took once I inked it up, I took that off and then I stamped it on just a piece of paper. And the reason that I did that is that I just liked how that word was written on the stamp. And then I just have a couple other little things here. So I've already got my Rolodex, and I've put some background, I glued some background paper. And then I thought, I'm going to go to my napkin stash. Now, we did napkin swap here a while ago. And this is one of the napkins that was from Valentina. So thank you, Valentina. And I've already taken off the layers. There was the 2 ply, just the plain ply. And I'm going to just get this down as a background. So I'm just going to lay it down as long as it stays on the whole background. Okay, so I'm just gonna, and I could have done this off camera, but like I said, I was getting everything organized, and a lot of times it takes more to organize something than it does to just do it on camera. So I got to the point that I was like, okay, it's time to roll. And I'm just looking for my aqua writer pen. I have a bunch here. Because one of the best ways to get your napkin off is just to wet it around the edges. And then you can cut it if you want that cut look, but if you want sort of a more organic look, then you can just wet around the edge. But yeah, so going back to this show, it was called Black Snow. Did I say that? And wow, it had me hooked that I had to watch, like I was just watching it nonstop. I was obsessed. So if you have seen it, let me know what you think. All right, and then I'm just gonna take my file and we'll just file this edge a little bit. And I could have filed the edge before I wet it. The problem is there was just too much napkin. So, and I can fix this up after. Okay, so we've got that down. And so for the top of it, here I was thinking that I might do either some washi tape or I was going to do some stamping there, but I was thinking I would do the washi tape, maybe some washi tape first. The other thing I was thinking of is possibly some ribbon kind of at the top, like so. Then I wanted to do some stamping too. The other thing I was thinking, which I'm going to do right now, because maybe I won't put the washi all the way across the top, is I am going to just put a little tab there. So I cut this out, and there's a little bit of material underneath there. And I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to put that down. And then let's get her dress on. So I'm just going to get her little dress on, like so. Okay, wiggle it around, make sure it's on there well. And a little over, there we go. Okay, so we've got our little dress on, and then probably lost her hat. I had a little hat here, but it doesn't matter because I've got two little hats. And the other one is in here. I did a couple hats. So, and you don't even have to do a hat. You can just take your marker and color in a hat. So I have a purple hat, which I really like, the purple hat. So I'm just going to put the purple hat on. But again, you can just take purple markers and just color it. I was just trying out different things. Okay, so we've got her there. And I'm thinking that she will go just there. So she will go just here. So that's where I was also thinking about putting, instead of lace at the top, although we could do that, which would look cute, I was also thinking about just putting it at the bottom and she can be standing on the lace. But then I need to cut the lace out from there. I also picked out this ribbon too, thinking that was kind of cute. She could be standing on that ribbon. But then there's the washi. And this is what I was thinking about just putting some washi down. And I actually like that idea better. But I want a little bit darker washi. And then I am going to do a little bit more stamping on this one. Okay. So let's just cut that off. Okay. So she's going to go about here. Move that hat out of the way. Put it back there. And then I have this dance that would go like about there, like so. And I'm just wondering if I should, because I want to do some stamping. I think I will just cut this a wee bit thinner, like so, and glue it down now. Get that glued down. And right about there, I guess, maybe. Because she's going to go, off to the side there. Okay, right about there she's going to go, and I want this to tuck under her a little bit. So let's just say here. That's good for now. And I also have a butterfly sticker. Now I think these are too big, so that's washi tape. And I want to get some stamping before anything else happens. So let's just get this. And I just want a little bit kind of at the top here, and a little bit sort of underneath her, maybe a little bit down there, and then because she's going to go there. Okay, so that's that one. And then I think I'll do one of these little double rings. The double rings, what I'm going to do with this one here though is I'm going to stamp off and then stamp, just so it leaves a little bit of an impression, like so. And I'm going to go up to the top here to leave a few more. Okay, and then I did bring out some of my mixed media ones. I'm thinking maybe I would just do a couple stars maybe at the top, like there, maybe some right there, because I like that. And then I just want it maybe a little bit of stamping kind of right there, a few circles maybe. Let's see. And you could do these in different colors. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, so that's good for stamping. And let's get that out of the way. Okay, so then let's get her down. So I'm happy that she's going to go there. I don't really think that, well, I kind of like this ribbon. What if we put a little bit of ribbon kind of under here? I think that's too dark. But we have this one here, which is a bit lighter. Like so. Just to give a bit of shimmer, shine. No, I don't like that either. Alright, well, let's try this. Should have been more organized, I guess. I always say that. I kind of like that. What do you guys think? It's either that or I know I'm going to love this, so I might as well just use this one. Yeah, I like this. So, I'm just going to get some Fabri-Tac to get this lace down, and I'm going to go all the way across. If I can get the top off. Of this here. I got quite a mess on my desk. I think that's glued shut. To get that off. Okay, so then she's going to go there, and then I did pull out, I pulled out some dried flowers that I had, and I pulled out some other butterflies, and I pulled out those butterflies, and then let's get this down. Okay. I already cut a piece of this, but Lord knows where it went. My desk is quite small, and when I get a number of projects going on here, although don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I'm very thankful I even have a craft room. Okay, so then let's just get her down. I do want to, the ground here, I'm just going to distress this to a little bit of brown. It's standing out stark from the background. Okay, and I kind of thought about putting her on dimensionals, but the Rolodex is going to really start filling up fast. So I'm just going to get her down there. And she's going to dance like nobody's watching. She's going to dance her little art out. Okay, and what else we're going to put on there? I know this video is getting a bit long, so we'll try to speed it along here. Okay, so I'm just thinking about a butterfly. Like I said, I was going to put some dried flowers, but I'm not sure that that'll work. And I also pulled out just some of my other flowers to see about getting something here. Kind of here. Actually, I could just cut it. So I like that. I like those, how that stands out. Actually, I think I'll leave that just like that. So I do like that. Glue that down. And then I was thinking about maybe this butterfly. These are such lovely butterflies. These ones here. So that I could put kind of a butterfly like that. I love that. And then I'm thinking that I could just put a row of something there. So there's silver on him. So what about putting a line of silver or these little pearls? I like the pearls because they kind of go with the lace a little bit. So I'm thinking that I'll do just a little string of these pearls. And put them right under there, like so, because I'm going to have this side here. So that's too close to the, there we go. Wow, there, that's nice. And I'll fix up this later. All right, well that's the gist, because I know that the video is getting long. I might actually add a couple more little details once we're off camera. But that's our ones for today. I hope you did have fun kind of hanging out with me today. And maybe you'd like to be a subscriber. I'd love to have you. But Oh, that's heavy. But until we meet again, I do hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.